Hello and welcome back to Georgesgamingguide. Today me and Breaking Dad are going to be doing a review on the new Lord of the Rings Rivendell set. Now we have done a build video on this which actually came out today, the same time as this, so if you haven't already seen it, make sure that you check that out. So the set number for this set is 10316 and this is made out of 6,167 pieces, which is absolutely mind-blowing. That is a crazy amount for one set. This set does include technically 21 minifigures, but that is including the 6 statues that are on this set, so it's really 15 proper minifigures. But even with the statues included, all of the minifigures are unique, which is mind-blowing. I don't think I've ever had a set before where every minifigure is unique, and definitely not to this scale if I ever have. But yeah, so now I'm going to go over the front of the model, and then Dad's going to go over the front of the model, and then we'll take apart the individual sections that we built, and then we'll talk about the middle together as we built it together. So I'm just going to slightly turn the model so that I can properly see what's going on here. So at the front here, we've got where the Fellowship meet up, where they decide on how to destroy the ring. That's the only way to destroy it, to go to Mount Doom, isn't it? So we've got the majority of the Fellowship there. We've got 3 of the Hobbits out here. So we have like over there on that section there's a couple of really big trees, which with actually an illegal building technique in, I believe, if you would like to go over that, you're the one who spotted that.
Yeah, so it's actually got where some of the fungus is on the trees. It's got the where you actually slide it in between the studs. So it's not actually pressed into the studs, it's actually sticking out at 90 degrees to what you'd normally have it. So if you're purists of Lego, I know some of them don't like that, but it actually works really well.
But if we now, if I'm going to stay at that end of the model. So we have got like this little building here. So we've got an elf in front of it, which is just a random elf. And then we have like a bed kind of thing. Obviously somebody can sleep there, but it's just so that somebody can lie down. So then there's a little stone like staircase going into that with a stone bridge going to this building here where there is some elvish bread on the inside, yeah. I believe. Something I did find quite interesting is I believe this is Pippin, and the bread he's got in his hand is a different colour to the elvish bread on the inside of the building, so I don't know why that is. Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's a bit older, I'm not sure.
Or we put the wrong piece on.
Oh yeah, is that so? That is true, it very well could have happened. But then there's this little stone path here that again just goes back to the Fellowship. Now here we have a lot of the statues on this model. I think it's all the statues that are on this model. So there's, well, I know there's at least 5 here that are going round. So it's this huge tower here, and then a really big tree, which is actually the last 2 bags, isn't it? Just that tree, which is a bit ridiculous. Sorry to just move that. Luckily it stayed on. Now, as you can see, there is a lot of colouring on the roof. Now this by far was the most difficult and time-consuming part of them all, because it is the individual 1x1 tiles, which are smoothed out to be the tiles, at a certain angle. Now I estimated that there's about 400 of these for the roof, which is ridiculous, and they all have to be at exactly the same angle, and if one is out, you could see it completely. But yeah, we managed to get them all the correct angle. Now there is in each bag when you're doing the roofs, there is a long plate which you're given, which is you do use in the bag, but it is used to just get that angle, which I'm so happy for, or else that would have taken a lot longer. Now the build did luckily take us about 8 hours, which with 2 of us doing it, we figured out is about right. But yeah, I think that overall the outside of this model looks really nice. I'm going to hand you over to Dad to go over the outside again.
Yeah, so just to go into a few more of the details. I say, with the roof, as George said, there's quite a few bags that just cover the 2 buildings of the roof. I'm not sure it's quite 400, but it was a lot. And I say, it's quite nicely done, so you use one of the longer pieces and do it along the lines, and you get a perfect 45 degree angle. So I think that's really well designed. The bit I did find tedious is the trees. I've never really liked building trees. It's pretty much all the same technique, so the big sort of leaf section and then 5 small leaves on each one. But I think it's pretty effective. I love this section though. I think the way they've done the water works really well. You've actually got these new fern sections, so it's the first time these have appeared in any set. It's about 56 or something.
I believe so.
Yeah.
No, what, the fern pieces? No,
Yeah.
there's 34.
That's the one that.
No, it's 34.
Yeah. Oh, there are 34 of these pieces, but I say they are brand new for this set. And I say you see them literally all over the front of the model. The fellowship I think is really nice. I think the area where that's done is really good. I say we'll take it out in a bit so you can actually see the figures a bit closer. There is a sort of an Easter egg underneath. Not overly keen on it. It's good they put it in, but it doesn't really add anything to the model.
It's just a bit out of place, I'd say.
Yeah. But overall the details on the front of this is fantastic. And I'd probably say this is one, if not my favourite set I've ever built. Because I think this just looks amazing. So I think if we get onto the minifigures on this. So I don't know if you want to take the fellowship.
No, I'm just gonna. I think what is gonna happen is I'm gonna read out the minifigures. You're gonna select the minifigure that I've said because it's easier for you to get to them, so it'll be a lot easier than us turning.
Well, do you want me to go over these then?
Yeah.
I say that these will appear on the screen, so I'm not going to take them off the model because it's. So we have Elrond is in a dark red robe. Really love the crown that he's got on his head, so that's printed on his headpiece. But the printing on his body is really cool. Don't know why I said cool. One of the things that I do like, but it's also not that great, because it could have done with being extended a bit. You actually get 2 sets of pieces for Elrond and Gandalf. So you actually get a printed sort of piece that's for their robe. You can also take this off, and there's an alternate build you do. So you can actually have them sitting down as well, which I think is really nice to have them sat down on this set and within the fellowship itself. So yeah, so Elrond I think is a really nice figure. You've got Gandalf next to him. You have the choice of his grey hair piece or having the hat. I think the hat looks really good on him, so we've kept him as that. Then we have Frodo sat next to him. He's got the ring, so we've got about 3 spare rings I think came in this set.
Yeah.
And the ring pieces are actually really nice, so it's good to get a couple of them spare. And he's got his sting dagger or sword, whatever you want to call it, with him in his other hand. Next we have a figure that I don't know if he was actually in that scene or not, but we've actually got him here at the minute, which is Gloin. And Gloin is actually Gimli's dad in the Lord of the Rings. Then we have Bilbo, and it's the old version of Bilbo. Mm-hmm. I think this is the first time the older version of Bilbo has ever actually appeared in a set. And if you turn his head round, he's actually got the facial features where he wants the ring, and it's got the dark, sharp teeth and big eyes on it. So that's quite nice.
Just to go back to the Gloin, this is going off the Lego model here, but if somebody is a reasonably interested in Lord of the Rings, they may know that Gimli's dad is actually played by the same actor in the films, which I thought was quite interesting, which does help the look-alike, the aspect of talking to him as well, because it's like talking to himself, which makes it a lot easier, because then he can be really mean and stuff, and it just makes it a lot easier. So I do think that is quite an interesting and fun fact.
Yeah, so do you want to carry on through, or shall I carry on?
No, you can carry on.
Yeah, so next we have Boromir, which is the Sean Bean character from the films. With his sword, he's got a nice shield, really nice printing on his torso again. So it's nice to have that. Then we have Gimli, and I think Gimli's character is fantastic.
I like the helmet.
Yeah, the helmet is really nice. It does come with hair,
which looks awful.
It doesn't look right not having his helmet on. I think in the film as well, when he doesn't have his helmet on, it looks a bit strange. But he is a really good figure. He's actually holding 2 axes. Then we have Aragorn next to him. And again, Aragorn is quite a basic print. Yeah, there's still plenty of detail in there. It's just not very colourful like the others. But again, it fits in with how it was in the film, because he was as the ranger initially in the films. Then coming away from the Fellowship, we have Merry, who's got a carrot for some reason. And I like the printing, and so it's got the little thing on his sort of brooch that they get given by the elves. And then you have I can't remember which one this is now. Samwise Gamgee, sorry, yeah. So he could have been in the Fellowship, we've left him out at the minute. And he's got a little frying pan. So I'm not sure why he's actually got a frying pan when he's in Rivendell, but yeah, I think it's just they decided to give an accessory, and that's what it was.
Something that I think we did just miss at the very start about going over the front, thing I didn't notice, is because of where you build the tree, there's actually 2 leaf pieces on the bottom to represent leaves that fall off.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that wasn't there.
No, I didn't actually.
It looked really weird if you put a character on it though, wouldn't it? He's so high up and all they're doing is standing on the leaf.
So then we have Pippin, who's there with the Lumnus bread. Again, very nice character. I think the printing on the body is really good. They use all the really short leg pieces. Oh yeah, one of the things I didn't mention about Bilbo and Frodo, again, you can take the legs off and you actually build with 4 little pieces an angled leg, so it looks like he's sitting down. So they sit in the seats really nicely. I think the Gandalf and Elrond, they sit very forwards.
I think Elrond is alright because of the size of his seat.
Yeah.
I think Gandalf's got a problem.
Then we've got a couple of generic elves. So they've got one in this sort of gazebo section and one on the bridge. And then we have Arwen, who's got the book. So overall, I think they are really, really nice. So George can go over the statues in a minute when he does his part. But I think what we should do now is split the set up a bit.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about the section you built, I'll talk about the section I built in a moment, and then we'll have a look at the inside and underneath the characters on the main section.
Well, I really wanted to build this section because of the tower. I thought the tower looked really nice. There's a lot of really nice pieces to make the angles all across the roof going down here, and it just looks really nice. Now, it very well may have been an absolute pain to build because of all the smaller pieces, but it was definitely worth it, and it looks amazing, and I think Lego has smashed it. Now, going to your side of the model, under the little gazebo area, there's like that little bed kind of a thing. Now, they've used the exact same design in here, which I thought I recognised earlier. And it's literally the exact same design, which I do like, because all Elvish beds did look the same. So I'm glad they, other than obviously Elrond's, which I do believe is up here as a giant double bed with a gold backing board with like an elf holding the sheets up at the back. And then there's like a writing stand right there. And then that's pretty much it for this room as a torch. Now you may have noticed this on the back. This is the point where the sword gets broken, but Sauron's ring, sorry, gets cut off his finger, of course, and then he becomes the eye. So now if we get onto this room, so there's a little staircase here that goes up, and then if we have a look at the insides of the bed, as I said, there's nothing on this side because that's where the back is, but there is like a nice little bookcase right there.
I love the archways that they've done on this.
It does make it look a lot smoother. So now if we get onto the tower, now there is nothing at all in the tower, but it does still look very nice. There are 5 of the 6 statues all along it there. There is the 6th one is in here holding the broken sword. So the tower itself is very curved here, so a lot of it is actually hidden away because of this part of the model, which isn't that big of a deal really. So you put this bit on the very last, which does just slot onto the top. You got like little pointed bits that are coming out, which does look like an elven tower. I really like how they have made everything look elvish with elvish architecture. Me myself, I am a fan of Lord of the Rings. I do very much like the elves. They're one of my favourite factions, and I think that they have really done well with this model, and it looks exactly like Rivendell, which I think is something that's very, very difficult to do. And just before we get onto your model, I'm going to go off the Lego, and I don't know if anybody has noticed, probably haven't to be fair, I am just wearing a collector's ring of Sauron, just thought it'd be, appropriate for Lord of the Rings model. So I'm going to hand it over to Dad to go over the model he built.
Yeah, so I really like this section. So this is actually split into 3 books when you build this. So this is the first book. I can't remember which order they are. I think it's the first book, third book, and then the second book. But we actually built these together. But I think the details on this is really nice. I love the effect they've done with the water, where you've got the little white sort of foaming sections for the waterfall, and it's just done really, really well. The bridge is nice and solid, nice build. And the trees, as I say, they are pretty nice. You might be able to pick up here the illegal building function for the fungus on the trees. So you've actually got 3 different types of fungus within the set, with some of it being these glow-in-the-dark sort of toadstools. On the side you've got like a little workshop, so you've got a barrel with a spade and a hammer in it, I believe. You've got the anvil, and then the fire at the back, which again is a really nice design. And then you have this sort of gazebo section. So this does actually come off to give you better access, because there is an armoury underneath here, and this literally just lifts off. So there's a couple of sections which just lift off like this, but I think the build of this was really, really nice. Now, one thing that's I thought quite interesting, so we have the toilet seat piece, and there's actually 12 of the toilet seats making the roof of this, and it's actually really effective. So strange part usage, but I think it works, to be honest. So it's really nice, and I say it's a nice solid build. And what that gives you access to, or better access to, because you can't access it without, is there's a little sort of armoury in here. So you've got the door coming through from the outside. You've got a couple of weapons racks, which have got a load of the elvish swords on them, a couple of axes and a bow and arrow. And down here you've got the grinding wheel, which does actually spin. And I think the attention to detail is really, really nice. But I do like the fact that they've got these couple of sections that come off really easy, and with the way they've designed the base, there's only one way it can go on, and once it's on that, it's not going to move. So it's been very well thought out. So I think now I've gone over this, let's have a look at the main sort of part of the building.
Just to go to the bit that you built, I just think it's rather ironic they have such a really nice and peaceful bit where you can go and read a book, with then where they prepare for war right underneath.
Yeah.
It is a little bit ironic, but it is nonetheless a very nice part of the model. Now I have to say the middle section is my favourite part of the model, mainly because of the fellowship. I think that looks amazing with that really big tree.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off so you can see the bit underneath, and then we'll spin it around so George can have a bit more of a talk about what's in there. But say by taking this off, you'll see a lot more of the details on the front of the building. Now the whole thing comes off with a tree, so I thought it was quite strange that they actually had the tree as part of that. I say the figures, a couple of them aren't on studs, which is why they're falling off. But underneath you do actually have an Eye of Sauron. Not the best looking eye, to be honest.
I think it's supposed to represent that he's always watching the ring.
Yeah. So yeah, so it's a bit of an Easter egg, the fact it's there, but I don't think it really adds anything to the build. I mean, one of the things they did was, because they needed something in the middle to actually support the fellowship bit, so it doesn't sag in the middle. So it's nice that they've done that, but yeah, it's I think they could have made that look better, to be honest, but I say it's not really an integral part of the model, to be honest, because the fellowship won't come out anyway for us. It'll be displayed with it in. I say George actually built this section, and
it was awful.
Yes, because some of it's quite strange. So some of the ones that are actually standing up here aren't supported at the top; they're just literally supported at the bottom.
on those, there's a little, it almost looks like bits are coming out of it, almost looks like a cog. It is a knot. It is something that is used in the Friends sets, I believe, not the TV show, the more younger part of Lego. It is the cupcake pieces, which I thought was rather strange, but you know, if it works, it works.
Oh, yeah, talk about the cupcake piece. That's a good thing to say, actually. Talk about strange part usage again. So I don't know how well you can pick up the seats on this, but the seats are actually made up of 2 sausages and a popsicle piece to make the arms and the back of it. So quite unusual parts usage.
It looks like somebody's like grabbing them with the seat because it looks like a thin neck, like long head, you know, then the body, and then you got the arms. Yeah, it looks quite strange.
Yeah. And then just before turning around, they said there is actually quite a nice banner in this, so I think that looks really nice. That was a sticker piece. Though, considering the size of the set and how much detail there wasn't that many sticker pieces.
No.
And the ones that are in, most of them were quite big. So when we turn this round, you can see a couple of pictures, but I'm going to hand you across to George now so we can sort of talk the details of the inside of this.
Okay, I'm just going to move this stuff to the side because I am looking at this from his screens and I couldn't see it at all. So I'm going to go over the very obvious bits at the start. So we've got 2 pictures here. This one is of a boat. This one could be of Rivendell. It's at first we thought it would have been the Gondor's capital city, but it's not. There's not a big old rock going through the middle of it. Oh, and something I did find out for this video was that Helm's Deep and Gondor's capital city and Minas Tirith are actually on the same mountain, but they're just on the other end. I never knew that, which I thought was very interesting. So we have like the Broken Sword, which is where Sauron becomes the Eye of Sauron because he does lose his power while he's got the ring on. In here, this bit is extremely barren, mainly because you have it shown this way and you won't really see it anyway. So you put his cape down, it looks like it's flying. But there are a few tables here. So there's 2 here with candles on. There's a map of not Third Age, Middle Earth. I always call it Third Age because that's what people know it by. There's another map here of. So
this is actually, I think it's got Saruman's tower on the map.
It's Isengard. Then there's a really, really big set of candles over there. There's some quite nice artwork on the wall right there with the banner, which you did go over. But yeah.
I think it's worth mentioning the floor as well, because I think the design of the floor on this is really nice.
There's half a compass on the floor, or just over half, which I do think is rather strange why they didn't extend the back and finish it.
Yeah. But I think there's lots of printed pieces to do the flooring on this, and I think it's really effective the way they've done it. And it actually goes under the front, so this sits on top of the pieces. But I love the design of that. I think it looks fantastic. Like I say, the attention to detail on this set is phenomenal. There is actually another sticker here as well, which is like, it looks like someone's doing some.
I think it could be when he was.
Work.
No, I'm thinking it could be that forger, like the greatest architect the elves have had. I'm thinking it could be the forge of the ring, because it's gold, isn't it? So I'm thinking it could be the forge of the ring, because if you've seen Lord of the Rings TV shows, mute now for the next few seconds if you don't want spoilers. But they obviously did make the ring because Sauron tricked them into making it, and that's how we got it, wasn't it? Because it said that they had to make a ring. Yeah. But yeah, so I just think that is quite interesting how that painting is there. Now to go to the very, very last part of the inside. So there's a little staircase that comes down here. Very nice, like handle going down. Railing. So it's just one long, like it's almost like those PVC pieces, like little ones, but sometimes you use them for like pipes and stuff. It's really weird how it is, but it's really, really thin rod that's hollow through the whole way, which is quite nice. This does bend very easily. It does go at angles very easily, and it does look very, very nice. Now we do have a sextant on the inside, which I presume is to symbolise the stars, because you wouldn't really have it on the inside, and how the elves did very well with star with look at the stars. I managed to find a lot of constellations and stuff like that. But yeah, overall.
Yeah. So I think the one that George, he mentioned it when it was turned around the other way. You've got the statue here where it's holding the king's sword when it's broken. So I think that's really nice. I think the actual piece they've done for the sword is a really nice design actually. You do get a spare one in the set, but I think it just looks really good. Yeah, it's, the shape is just right for what it was in the film. So yeah, I'm impressed by that. So.
But yeah, I think that overall this is a really, really nice model. If you do want to buy it, you have the room to buy it, make sure of that, because that was a mistake that we have made. Because we need to make sure, we need to figure out where this is going, to be perfectly honest with you. And of course, if you do have the money to spend on this, then I would absolutely get it. It is an extraordinary set. It is amazing. To be fair, it's the best Lord of the Rings set I've ever seen, to be fair, by far. And I just think that Lego has knocked it out of the park with this one, and I would really, really recommend this set. Yeah, so overall, this is amazing. We both think so, correct? And I would really recommend buying this set.
Yeah. I think that this would be great in anyone's collection, whether you're a Lord of the Rings fan or just a Lego fan. I think this just looks fantastic. So to have this on a shelf, you will need a big shelf. I mean, it's 75 centimetres wide, and because it's angled slightly, it's actually really deep as well, so it's not going to fit on a standard shelf. But you can, if need be, just knock the angle off. You can, if need be, take the two side sections off, so you can have them to one side. So you can change the configuration slightly to make it easier to fit. But yeah, it's fantastic.
But yeah, I would really recommend this set. It is magnificent, and I just honestly think it is one of the best sets I've ever built. Especially one of the best sets that's ever been on the channel. And I would just really, really recommend it. And yeah, so thanks, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, goodbye. We'd love to know what you think about this set, so please like and leave a comment. If you haven't already, please subscribe to George's channel, and don't forget to check out the build video of this set as well.
And also make sure you watch out for this Sunday's video, which is going to be Dad's build and review on the new Princess Leia Boosh helmet.